Welcome to the Heart of the Valley, where we meet the people and organizations working to strengthen our communities and make the Central Valley a better place to live. February is American Heart Month, and that naturally makes us all think about heart health. The American Heart Association is working around the country and right here in the Central Valley to support all of us in building longer, healthier lives. With us here today are Cynthia Cervantes and David Soto Jr. Cynthia and David are both longtime executive volunteers for the organization who have served in a variety of roles. Today, they're going to be sharing some of the work that the Heart Association is doing right here in our community. Thank you so much for joining me today. Cynthia and David, tell me a little bit about how you got involved with the American Heart Association and what type of work you do.
Yes, I've been involved for many years. I am a cardiac nurse for most of my career, and the American Heart Association has always provided the research and support to give information, educate our patients. So I've been volunteering for many years.
So it started off being a participant in the heart walks, and it came a little bit more personal once I had aortic valve replacement. And now I coordinate my own team and still participate and do a lot more with the executive leadership team now. But it's been a journey, and I love every minute of it. Fortunately, my complications were found early when I was a teen. And I was supposed to have surgery a long time ago, and it never progressed until my late 30s. And then I had to have open heart surgery, which was an experience in itself. But here I am, and I just want to advocate and let people know to go get checked, do everything you can, because cardiac is a leading cause of death here. And with the American Heart Association, we're just cutting that number in half, and anybody that I could tell to go get checked and just look after themselves is a big thing for me.
So you said you were affected by this as a teen?
Yeah, so I was born with a bicuspid valve, and over the years, plaque and buildup just kind of gathers around it and closes it up. And I was having symptoms during COVID 2020. I had surgery October of 2020, and I thought it was COVID at first. I didn't know what it was actually, and then I went to go see the doctors, and at the time the offices were closed, and you had to make arrangements to go see this doctor or that doctor, and when I saw my cardiologist, he finally told me that it was time to have the surgery. So I started prepping for that. Consultation happened, and before you know it, I was waking up in the surgery room. So I'll never forget the experience. It was really scary, but I think knowing about the issue before it actually happened kind of prepared me a little bit. But I mean, you're never really prepared for something like that. It's definitely life-changing, and the way I look about life now, it's way different than just having that that surgery just opened my eyes about a lot of things.
Yeah. And Cynthia, what inspired you to get involved with the American Heart Association?
Knowing that it is the number one killer for women, especially once they reach menopause, and providing the information, education, and just being out in the community to let people know. Because I think when we think of like what can hurt us health-wise, a lot of times, cancer, we know that is serious. Women and heart disease, when you look at all the cancers combined, heart disease is still the number one killer in women. So it's really important to be involved and then be able to spread that information on checking your blood pressure, checking your, if you're diabetic, checking what is your blood sugar, hemoglobin A1C, what is your blood pressure. All of those metrics can lead to increased chance of heart disease. So having that information, education, knowing, I think is half of it. And then also following up with your physician and getting checked.
Yeah. And you said you also worked at the ground level.
Yes. I started out as a nurse. I've been a nurse for over 38 years now, and I worked in pre-op, post-op open heart care. Later, as a mid-level, I had the opportunity to work with surgeons here in the Central Valley, and we went into surgery for patients that needed bypass surgery for for major coronary artery disease and also for the valve replacements. And I also worked as a hospital administrator at our local heart hospital. So I've been involved with cardiac care for pretty much all my career, and currently taking all of that knowledge, helping not just with heart disease, but many other types of health conditions.
Yeah. So you've seen this firsthand, how it affects people, families?
Yeah, and I think, one thing that we can't control is our genetics, right? So it's important for people to know their numbers, like know what your baseline blood pressure is, know what your family history is, take all those things in consideration, write them down, start when you're young. When you know your baseline for your blood pressure is, say, 110/60, pretty much all your adult life, and then all of a sudden you go to the doctor and they're like, oh, it's 130/80, that's great. And you're like, well, wait, no, that just went up because I've always been at this number. So knowing your numbers is a big part of just being accountable for your own health care. I think that's really important for people to know and people to keep in mind, and just get a little book and just write your numbers down. When you go to the doctor, ask what your cholesterol is, ask what it means. Look at the medications, know why you're taking it, because a lot of medicines, they're not just used for one thing or another. It may be treating blood pressure, it may be treating something related, but if you don't know why you're taking your medicines, it's really hard to keep track of your own health. So be an advocate for yourself and your family if you can.
Right. We were talking before the show that I myself suffered a heart attack almost 3 years ago, and when it happened, I just thought I was having indigestion or anxiety. Then my left side started to hurt. Then I had shortness of breath, and eventually I was lucky to make it to a doctor's office and then rushed to the hospital. And I had to have 2 stents put in. Turns out I had a widowmaker. But after the 2 stents, it was like a dam had opened and my arteries were flowing blood all where they were supposed to. And that's actually how we came up with the concept for Heart of the Valley. So I appreciate you coming in and for the work that you do. But one of the things that you mentioned about keeping track and knowing your numbers, I had gone to get my yearly physical, my yearly exam, and I was told that I had high blood pressure, keep an eye on it. Well, what does that mean, keep an eye on it? I'm not a doctor. I had no idea what it meant to keep an eye on it. Turns out I did have high blood pressure, and that was one of the signs. After my heart attack, I check my blood pressure regularly. So now I do keep track of those numbers. So I appreciate you bringing that up and reminding people how important that is.
Yeah. I think it's important as well because I take some medicines even after my surgery, for clotting and different things like that. But in the beginning, I didn't know what any of them were for either. And now I have a grasp on why I'm taking it. Just eating well, taking care of your body plays a big role, and the amount of medicine you're taking. So, obviously the less medicine we take, the better. But for some of us, it's
you need to.
Yeah, you have to. So, I take warfarin every day for the rest of my life, and it could be very dangerous if I skip a dosage. Sometimes my levels are hit and miss, but I'm getting used to the checking part of it and just trying to keep myself healthy. So I think that's very important, especially with the medication.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. David, in the Central Valley, the association is focused on some key areas to help us build healthier lives. Can you share what some of those are?
Yeah, so the 3 that we're focused on the most is the blood pressure management, access to nutritious foods, and CPR training, which involves community readiness. So our goal with CPR is just being in local schools and working with them and trying to make sure that at least one person in every household is able to save a life, whether it's CPR, if somebody has cardiac arrest, they're able to step in and assist. With the blood pressure management, the association is working with the EOC Commission to provide blood pressure monitoring resources to new moms. Also with nutrition, they're collaborating with local food banks and pantries For instance, the Fort Miller Middle School Family Resource Center, and also with the CPR, like I said before, just working with local schools and just making sure at least one person in every household is able to perform CPR if needed.
Cynthia, you work in the quality space and guidelines for medical teams on how to treat patients with certain heart and brain conditions. Why does this matter to you?
Well, in many of our, not just in the Central Valley, but many of our counties, we have, we have to provide the resources and support to our patients, our members in the community, in the area that I work in, and a lot of times they may not know. And as you two have just mentioned, like, keep an eye on your blood pressure. What does that mean? What are the guidelines? What are the criteria? So providing education, and then the current research from the American Heart Association, ensuring that our providers have that current research at their fingertips. I mean, many of our cardiac physicians and surgeons might have, they're constantly getting education and research, but a lot of our, providers across and a lot of the mid-levels that are treating patients at family practice clinics, they may not have it readily available, so it's important for us to provide that to them.
And the work in this area is also done through a collaboration with other local nonprofits. Can you share a couple of examples with your work and what collaboration looks like?
Yes, there's many community-based organizations throughout California, and especially in the Central Valley. And for example, where I work, we are collaborating currently with the American Heart Association and working with provider offices and providing our patients and members with blood pressure cuffs. They're getting education on how to use it. They're getting education on how to upload it into the system that gives their physician real-time blood pressure readings, so that if somebody has a really high blood pressure, they can have a stroke. So we have actually had some members that got into this program in collaboration with the American Heart Association that their blood pressure was so high that they were immediately notified, they were seen in the emergency room, and a stroke was prevented, because had they not been treated so quickly, they could have possibly had a stroke.
How long have you both been involved with the American Heart Association, and can you share some examples of how the work that the American Heart Association does has helped other people?
I've been participating in the walk since, I believe, around 2017, and then having my own team since then. And since my surgery in 2020, I've been really active with the executive leadership team and getting ready to put together like the official heart walk. It's been a journey for me. It's been an amazing chapter in my life, just to say that I'm able to help and then spread the word about health and fitness, and just to be that advocate, not only for myself but for anybody that needs it as well. So it's been fun.
Yeah, I've been involved. I worked in cardiac rehab with a lot of patients in the early 90s, and then in late 90s, early 2000, I became a board member of the American Heart Association, and have taken that opportunity to share at our many events in the community and provided education on hypertension, high cholesterol, diabetes, nutrition, things like that.
Okay. Well, speaking of events, the association hosts a couple of events during the year that the community can attend. The first is the Go Red for Women Luncheon. Talk a little bit about that, its mission, and what it's like.
This is Heart Month, right? So with the American Heart Association, I'll be chairing the Go Red for Women Luncheon. And the mission is to improve the health and wellness of the community and educating on heart disease and stroke. So if you have the opportunity to attend, please do. It will be held April 16th at the Veterans Memorial Hall in Clovis. And the mission is to educate our community. It's open to the public, so you can come, you can hear guest speakers, there's breakout sessions. There'll be a key speaker to talk about heart disease and stroke. So it's a great event, and we really, really want the public to know and everyone to come out if they can.
And David, the second major event is the Heart and Stroke Walk in the fall. What's that event like?
Yeah, so it's a celebration of fitness and health. It's an amazing event. If you haven't been there, I really suggest that you come out and just check it out, take it all in. And if you can't participate, at least just see it for yourself. There's a lot of pre-walk activities that are going on. We have survivor stories. We have warm-up sessions, post-warm-up sessions. I actually DJ the event, so it's very fun at the end. I try to get the crowd involved, do some dancing before they leave, and we're just celebrating everybody, and it's good to see that so many people are involved. And I think last year we had a high number that showed up, which was I think one of the highest numbers that we had out there. So just to continue that, it's at Tesoro Viejo on October 10th. I would invite everybody just to come out and just see it for themselves.
Okay. Yeah. Is it normally held in the same place?
It has been. In the beginning, it wasn't. I'm not sure exactly how many years it's been at Tesoro Viejo now.
And that's over near Madera.
Correct. Up the 41, past Avenue 12, on the right-hand side. Can't miss it. It's a nice place. Again, I invite everybody that can make it to come out and check it out.
Okay. That's next to that new development there. Right?
It's right in the neighborhood of that development, and it's got beautiful views, rolling hills and the Sierras, and it's really nice out there.
Yeah, it's great to see the community come out and support the event.
Yeah, it's really fun.
If someone was inspired by the work of the American Heart Association, how can they get involved?
Well, I'll start. There are many opportunities to get involved. You can volunteer. You can join one of the committees for Go Red or the Heart Walk. If you have a place of employment and you want to get involved, getting a team together and providing awareness, not just to your place of employment, but to the surrounding community and your family and friends.
Yeah, I would just say that the American Heart Association is built on volunteers. It's very important if you're wanting to get information to just reach out to them, and you could do that on their website at heart.org/Northern California, and that's here for the Central Valley. But I would say reach out to them, and if you have time, come out and volunteer and just see what we have to offer.
Great. And since it's Heart Month, are there any special requests from the organization for all of us?
Wear red.
Wear red. And if you have a wear red pin, wear that. All year long it's important, but especially during Heart Month, it's important for everyone to know.
I'd like to take a little break, and when we come back, I want to get your final thoughts. Welcome back to Heart of the Valley. We are talking with Cynthia Cervantes and David Soto Jr., longtime executive volunteers for the American Heart Association, and they've served in a number of roles, and we're learning more about the work that you're doing in the American Heart Association, and again, some advice as well. Cynthia, we were talking about the importance of tracking your numbers and checking your numbers, but you also wanted to mention something more about checking your blood pressure.
Yeah, I want to remind people that when you're at home and you're checking your blood pressure, and you're going to document that and keep a little record and take that with you when you go to your doctor appointment. But also, if you can, take your blood pressure monitor, because sometimes, especially if you've had one for a long time, it may not be, giving you the accurate numbers, and it's never going to be identical to what you get at your doctor appointment. But it's good to calibrate and know how accurate or not your home monitor is. So that's important, because it might be giving you a false reading, a false low or a false high, and you just want to make sure that what you're checking is fairly accurate.
Yeah. For anyone that's watching, what do you want to leave people with?
My main thing is if you're feeling any symptoms, don't put it off anymore. I know we all get busy in our normal lives, but it's important to take care of yourself. So go get checked. Like I said in the beginning, that I was fortunate enough to find my condition early. So I knew something was coming, and I was able to monitor it through years and years, seeing my cardiologist. But if you're feeling those symptoms, see your doctor. Don't put it off, because those precautions could save your life, and it's very important. We all have people depending on us, and we want to be around as long as we can. So take it serious and go get checked. And
also, not all symptoms are alike, right? So some people might have like, oh, I feel pressure on my chest, it's radiating to my arm, I don't feel good, I might have indigestion. Those are some of the classic signs, but sometimes for women especially, it could be very different. They could just feel a little nausea, they might just feel a little, maybe their stomach's upset, or they just don't feel good, they might feel fatigued. The symptoms are very different. So I just tell people, like, listen to your body. Like, if this is not your day-to-day normal, then you might want to go get it checked out. If you're able to make your bed, no problem, all your life, and then all of a sudden you're getting a little winded, or you're able to mow the lawn, and one day you go out to mow the lawn and you're short of breath, those are things that you got to really take serious. So agree, know your body, know your symptoms, know your numbers.
Yeah, Cynthia, you brought up an interesting point. There are some differences between the symptoms that men can face and women can face, and that's really part of the purpose of the Go Red for Women movement, right?
Correct, yes.
Talk a little bit about the Go Red for Women movement, if you can.
Yeah, so, as I mentioned earlier, women tend to have symptoms that look a little bit different. They may not, but they could look a little different. So it's important for women to understand that they are going to have, their symptoms are going to look a little different, and they need to really make sure they advocate for themselves because of that. Don't minimize that. And everyone gets busy, right, with their kids or their families, and they take care of everyone else except for themselves. So it is really important for women to know that it is the number one killer, and it does increase after menopause. And there's a lot of information and education out there now to support that for women. So I think it's important for women to know that it is the number one killer, and they need to take it seriously and know their body, their symptoms.
Yeah. And David, talk a little bit about how heart disease personally affected you and maybe impacted your family.
So again, it happened all during COVID. It affected me. Well, the symptoms I was feeling, the shortness of breath, the fatigue, the chest pains, and I always thought I was out of shape. And I would try to go jogging, and I would get tired. I was like, man, I can't break this. I'm out of shape. And how much do I have to run, or how can I change this? And I was thinking in my head that it was me, but when it wasn't me being out of shape, it was my heart not working correctly. So it affected me personally in a way where it affected the ability to be active for a long amount of time. And even after my surgery, it affected my family because everybody was around trying to take care of me. I came home after a week in the hospital, and you don't come home and you're your old self, so it takes a little while for your body to recover and get used to doing things again. So I mean, it was a life change for everybody, and even now, post surgery and being around my family, I just try to advocate to them as well, like get checked. If you have any symptoms or if you're not feeling right, go see your doctor. While we can, because like I said, nobody's exempt. Even if you think that it won't happen to you, guess what? That's usually what happens. So it's been life-changing to say the least, and I'm still learning about it. But I just feel the more I'm involved, especially with the American Heart Association, I'm around the right people, and it's been great. So I mean, I'm gonna be here as long as I can and keep doing what I'm doing, and especially to my friends, family, people that I come across, I'm just gonna advocate to go take care of yourself and go get checked.
Right. And again, where can people go to for more information?
You can visit the website at heart.org/Northern California, and that's here in the Central Valley.
Great. Anything else either of you would like to add?
Well, I think it's important for people to know, I think we've said this, but when you're having symptoms or you have a doctor appointment, make sure that you're communicating, right? Because every physician out there wants to do a great job. But if you go in with like a laundry list of different things going on in your life and you're not giving specifics about how you're feeling and be descriptive, I'm short of breath when I do this, this, and this, it's really hard, and it takes a little longer to narrow in on maybe what the actual problem is. So I always tell my family and friends, like, write it down, be specific, and when you go in, be able to say it very succinctly, because like I said, everyone wants to do a good job when they're trying to manage someone's health and help you manage it, but we're really accountable for our health. So it's really important for us to know and write those things down and communicate effectively.
Thank you both so much for your time and for joining me today. I really appreciate everything that you're doing to help our community. That is going to do it for this edition of Heart of the Valley. If you're part of a nonprofit, a community organization, or you know someone making a difference in the Central Valley, we'd love to hear from you. Please shoot me an email at lcruz@kc.com or DM me on Instagram or Facebook @NewsCruz. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, everybody.